Jeff Bro from Two Hacks Garage. Well, it's a Saturday morning. It's pretty early. It's still dark. I'm going to do some garage cleaning. Jimmy's on his way over. But the point of this video is Jimmy's perspective on the No Name Nationals. On that thumbnail of the video, you see Deke. Well, he was the tech guy at No Name Nationals, and he was a good friend of Jimmy's years ago and still is. In fact, he came over a few times when we were building the dragster. And one thing exciting for me is to see those guys back together, talking, doing their fun stuff, and reliving the glory days. So yeah, I put him in there because I know how much Deke means to Jimmy and how much Jimmy means to Deke. And I'm getting to know both those guys. And I tell you what, man, they live the life of racing, and that is absolutely awesome. But the point of this video, speaking of living the glory days, that event, No Name Nationals, well, I think it got back to Jimmy about how fun the racing is. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to let him explain it to you. He's on his way over to kind of talk about the event, what his thoughts are, and possibly some things to come. Tell you what, guys, Jimmy will be here soon. Hear him out. See you soon.
Jimmy's take on the No Name Nationals and the J&J dragster. I want to thank my wife, Linda. Been very supportive. Yes, she thinks I'm nuts. Almost 71 years old, still driving one of these things. But it's in my blood. Been in my blood since I was 17. But I just want to say thank you to her. And even though sometimes you're still out in the shop late at night working, yes, I have to get ready to go. So it is what it is. I just want to say thank you. Okay?
All right.
Jeffrey, come here. This is Jeff Rowe's son, Jeffrey, for being a very, they're going to meet another one here in a minute, but being a very new pit crew. He had his stuff together. He's seen it around the racetracks enough. He's been around enough racetracks. And anything I asked him to do, because he had never been around setting up one of these cars, working around one of them at the track, and helped us get it in the lanes, helped us tow it, do this, do that. I just want to say thank you, buddy. You did a good job. Kenny, get over here. What is it, Mad Dog?
Yep.
This is Mad Dog Kenny. And Kenny, has, just like Jeffrey, has never been around these things too much in his life, except they're watching them and stuff. But I'll tell you what, he buttoned me up in the seat belts, because it's kind of hard to hook up the seat belts in these things. You're really constrained in there. But, he did perfect. He was just like a very well-seasoned pit crew and did everything great. He took care, made sure the pin was out of the fire bottle, the safety pin, and parachute was ready to go. Everything was cool. And I just want to say thank you, Kenny.
Appreciate it, Jimmy.
And I came back alive. So, and I'm sure you guys are all going to see the video out there. Now, we're going to get the chief culprit that caused this mess.
Yes.
I grew up with his dad, Jeff Sr.
1920s, right?
No. I met his dad in 1965. So the bottom line of it is one thing. He got me back into this crazy sport. I was comfortably retired since 2016. But I got back in it with him last winter when we built the car. You've all seen the video. But I just want to say, Jeffrey, it's been good getting me back in it. Now we're going to build me a car. We're pretty close to being sure that we're going to do it this winter. We're going to have a 2-car team. But he's learned a lot, and you've all seen the big wheelie. If you haven't, it's out there, J&J Machine on YouTube. Yes, we had a heated discussion at the end of the track, but it's okay. He don't have no holes in him. He wasn't bleeding, but I'll tell you what, he learned a everybody on the crew learned a very valuable lesson, because I had to survive this. If you see the movie, then I had to survive it from my son's car when he did it back in 2014 or 15, maybe 16. And, but things can get ugly. One little goofy mistake, thing can get ugly. But the good news is the pin was left in this wheelie bar, but it was just in the too high a position. Saved the car, little damage to the front wheels. Nothing is bad that can't be fixed. So just want to say thank you for getting me back in it. And I had a great time. I want to say thank you to the track down there at Sykeston. They did a wonderful job. And most of all, Holly. I want to thank Holly for helping us out. Great to work with you guys. We're going to promote your products. As long as there's a breath left in my body, I'll be promoting your products. But I just want to say thanks to everybody, and thanks to the people we met down there. I met a great bunch of people. thanks to Dallas Brown and the staff down there at Sykeston. They came down the track and make sure everything was okay. As you can see,
the car is still here.
Never crashed it, never rolled it, never did anything. It just, front wheels just loosened the spokes a little bit. But outside of that, around 112 mile an hour, right front wheel wobbling like that. How's that for an old guy?
Yep. So we're going to be building another car. Jimmy and I are researching quite a bit. He actually came here, loaded up his engine because his real fine 409's going in his, and we're going to build 311 cubic inch small block for mine, and it's going to be an absolute blast. We'll have to come up with a pretty fitting name for it, but the track was prepped great there. Like, it was awesome. And the car earned its name of Jumping Jack Flash because it was jumping, but it was more of Jumping Jimmy Flash at that point.
Well, what actually happened, the gospel story for me, I was in it. When did the big wheelie, it slammed it down and it come down hard. As you'll see in the video, it almost hit the wall. And I saved it, but when it come down, this car has a foot brake in it. It bounced my foot off the brake. And on the back of a Power Glide transmission, there's a tranny brake and there's a plunger with a real mild return spring, and my foot got on it a couple times, and that's what locked the wheels up and made the car bounce and jump a couple other times. It took a second for all this to register in my head because I would have never dreamed that that would have happened. But then when I figured it out, got it corrected, stuck my foot back in it, yes, I was mad, very mad. But that's why we got 112 mile an hour. The ET might have been a minute and a half long, but we got 112 mile an hour out of it. But one of the runs, if you notice in there, was a perfect run. I was hoping for a killer run on the wheelie one, but just didn't work out. But we had a good day, we had a bad day. But not bad for an old guy stepping back into this all this time, and at least we didn't crash anything. And everybody got a very big learning lesson.
We did. And that's something Jimmy and I talked about with the wheelie bar. And it happened, but we're not going to let it happen again.
No.
We got a lot of modifications we're doing to the car. We've been doing a lot. But yeah, we are going to hit the track next spring, ready to rock and roll, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't know how much we're going to race. And are we going to be competitive on a national scale? Probably not. We're not big time. But when I used to run with the Nostalgia Boys from Illinois circuit, which is kind of a defunct circuit now, but always brought home money. But they paid us, all of us, to come race back then. But times have changed. But maybe with a little luck, we'll get some, match races going next year. Of course, I love it when I win, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a drag racer and you expect to win every round, quit racing. Not going to happen. I don't care who you are. Even the pros don't win every round. But it's fun. Great way to blow money. It's still cheaper than a divorce. Have a good one. Thank you, everybody. Tune in come springtime.